Hi guys, so as soon as Rishi Sunak has some slightly good news or something that can be spun as good news, the very next day it's counterbalanced by a scandal or some sort of mishap that sinks the party even deeper in the polls. Now, we heard recently about somebody who's close to the Prime Minister that allegedly had placed a bet on the date of the general election a few days before Rishi Sunak announced it. Now, the 4th of July for the vote was something that many Tory MPs weren't told about at the time. Now, this shows a Prime Minister who has zero control over his staff and is at the head of a dysfunctional government. Well, the bit of news the Tories were trying to spin yesterday as good fortune was the drop in inflation. But then we had this.
Some breaking news now in relation to our top story this morning. We are hearing that Tony Lee, who is the Director of Campaigning at the Conservative Party, has taken a leave of absence. A party spokesperson has told the BBC this. We're told that he left his position yesterday. As we've been reporting today, his wife, Laura Saunders, is one of two Conservative candidates being looked into by the Gambling Commission over alleged betting relating to the timing of the general election. Laura Saunders has been approached for comment by the BBC. She has not responded as yet. We don't know how much this alleged bet involved or when it may have been placed, but Laura Saunders is married to Tony Lee, the Director of Campaigning at the Conservative Party. We are just learning that he has taken a leave of absence as of yesterday. A party spokesperson has told the BBC. We'll get you more on that.
God, they're an absolute joke of a party. So now, is this going to impact the average voter? Probably not, but it shows that Rishi Sunak has no control over his staff, because allegedly a member of staff placed a bet as well for about 100 quid. But now it seems you have two Tory candidates. In one case, one who is married to the Director of Campaigning, who has forced him out of his position. You know, a few weeks before the general election, the Director of Campaigning has to resign or has to take a leave of absence. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you have Tory MPs, or there are no MPs at the moment, but who are previously MPs, who are running to hold on to their seat. They didn't know when the general election would be. It was as big a surprise to them as it was to many others. But there are people close to Rishi Sunak, it seems, or close to number 10, who knew when the date would be, and what did they decide to do? Well, let's go out and place a bet and make lots of money. This, of course, is illegal. It's not just immoral. It's not just using insider information, but it's actually illegal. Technically, it's illegal because you know something before it's actually said. And this is, I would imagine, these people would be in some serious trouble. But it's extremely damaging to the Conservative Party because it shows there's a complete lack of discipline. And it's forced the Director of Campaigning to take a leave of absence. As I said, every time there's a little bit of news that could be spun as good news, the very next day you have some sort of scandal or disaster. You know, they should just resign. Rishi Sunak should just say, to hell with this. What's the point in even campaigning? Let's just forfeit the election straight away. It would be a lot easier on everybody. You know, just let's just say Labour won a massive majority and let's leave it at that. Don't even bother having a vote. It's almost to that stage. No, I'm joking. But it shows that they have no control over the candidates. They have no control over people within the party. And I think a lot of candidates are like, well, to hell with the law, to hell with rules. Let's just place a bet, see if we can make a few quid out of this. Like, it seems one of the guys was putting forward a bet of 100 quid, which is not a lot of money. I don't know what the odds were at the time. Maybe they were pretty good, but we're talking about maybe a few thousand quid winnings. For what? He could end up in jail or end up with a massive fine. And of course, it does damage to Rishi Sunak. I presume this individual was sacked. I presume these candidates, well, they can't be withdrawn at this stage because their names are on the ballot. So what is the Conservative Party going to do about it? So this is going... The act itself is not damaging to the Conservative Party in the polls. But what it does is it opens them up to attacks. It opens them up to criticism from the Labour Party, from Reform UK, from the SNP, from the Greens, from the Liberal Democrats, from everybody. Oh, you're corrupt. Your party is pure corrupt. And you can't get away from that, because this is corruption, in a sense. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.